Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So, on the last episode, I kind of got everything started. I got the frame rail prepped outside of the Jeep, and next I needed to do was prep the Jeep side of things. So, this is kind of what's left of my frame rail. A whole nother dustpan full of rust. This is literally my frame rail right here. Whatever was left of it. And a couple little chunks and pieces. This was off the new one after I trimmed the fit. So I do have it semi-installed. I have it somewhat trimmed up. I just got to do a little bit more finessing there and getting all those lined up so I can rosette weld it back in. From the inside, this is what it looks like now. So I'll probably have to take that piece a frame from the other one, cut the floor out of it, and weld it in afterwards. That way it still has that double wall construction there, but it's still gonna have, the frame stiffener. So it's not fully lined up perfectly like I had it before. I did accidentally move it a little bit while I was trying to adjust the cross member. So I think my issue is that since this frame rail came out of I want to say a late 80s or early 90s Cherokee, the cross member is not the same. So, a couple issues. So, I think the old cross member mounted off of these two holes, where a 97, they're like yay-ish, like around here-ish is where the two holes are. So, this one is almost there to fitting, but I'm probably gonna have to cut it out, or just drill the new hole and weld a new nut in here. And same thing goes over here, so the hole would be roughly somewhere around in this little area. So one thing I am gonna finally do is break open that box of the frame stiffeners. So I kind of already got a little popped. I have not fully seen them yet, so there's a little bit of an unboxing video. Really package this stuff in here like crazy. Very nice packaging. Damn. Oh, sick. And it came with a sticker. So these are Iron Rock Off-Road Frame Stiffening Kit. So super stoked to be able to run these. So I think these are the ones I need right here. I'm gonna find the correct one that I need. I'm gonna go ahead, line her up to where it needs to go. Try and clamp it in best I can. I don't have that big of clamps. I probably should have gone and bought some. We got some like fish plates here, so I'll have to look up the instructions on these. But these are really nice. Super thick gauge metal. I think this is for the front. Yeah, I think these are for the front, and then these are the sides, and then probably these are the rears over here in this other box. So let's get this out. Let's get it test fitted so we can line up our frame rail section and start burning her in. Okay, cool. So we got these in. I did my best to line them up with these little holes best I could. Looks like the bottom is going to be very difficult to weld because, this thing is old. The frame isn't the straightest thing in the world, so I'm probably definitely going to have to keep applying pressure in multiple areas as I move along. And it's gonna have to be a lot of pressure. So this side, I literally have to start lifting the Jeep. So what I did was, since I don't have multiple jacks, I used a block of wood, lifted the Jeep up, and as I set it down, used the weight of the Jeep itself to act as a jack on here, just to kind of hold it up in the meantime. So that frame rail section looks like it's laying in there really nicely. And here we can see just how it's all lined up. So I did line it up with the actual frame stiffener. So it actually is not too bad. We got pretty good coverage here. Everything's lined up really nicely. Instead of a butt joint, I decided to just do overlap here. Over here it is, closer to factory. So I'll probably weld from the top side into the frame stiffener kit. That way that's all strong. And then later on, I think I will have to drill some holes after I'm done installing this kit. So this is probably gonna have to go in before I can do the floorboards. I don't think there's a way for me to do the floorboards prior to, all because of that trans cross member. I'm gonna have to weld some nuts in here. Sorry if I'm out of breath. It's like 90 degrees in this garage right now, and doing this by myself is no easy task. So, but overall it looks great. So now to tack in that frame rail section, I'm gonna go ahead and tack it in now, so that you can see trans jack, frame jacks, so everything's hunky-dory. Tack in that frame rail where it's at now, that way, and then mark all of these little holes, because all of that's gonna have to get ground down, and all the way back here, ground down all the way around, maybe even the floorboard, so I can weld it to the floors as well and get it all prepped for welding. Cool. Well, it's welding, so I think I have it welded enough where it's not gonna move on me. For sure gonna have to drill some holes. So I did, do as many passes as I could. Oh, come on, camera focus. I did as many passes as I could. There, and on the inside. Except this metal is super rusty, so it was a little bit difficult to get it clean enough. Especially this little area over here. But since it's overlapped, I'm hoping it'll still have plenty of strength right there. Plus, this 1/4 inch thick frame stiffener that we're adding. Over there, got some good beads. And then got some good little rosette welds here. So hopefully I did not accidentally weld it to the frame stiffener already. Now to just mark out all our frame stiffener weld areas and get those cleaned up, get the frame stiffener out of the way, get the whole bottom side welded up. I know the whole bottom side is pretty clean, so the outside is really where I'm gonna be putting all my beads. Just the inside's more just to kind of hold it in place for now. And then we should get this thing set in there by today. Alright, cool. And it's welded in. So, didn't do too bad of a pass there. Those holes, they, like the rivets, when I drilled them out, they pretty much just drilled a straight hole. they lined up almost perfectly. Here, let's see if I can get a good shot of the inside. So I just did the little plug holes, same thing with one of those. It kind of just wanted to keep burning through, and then I just did a little spot weld there. Still got to do the top ones. Probably do those once I get the Alright, well, kind of had to reshoot this little section, so it's gonna kind of jump ahead a little bit. It was driving me mad while I was trying to edit this video right now, and I had the freaking camera, horizontal again, so it really fucks with me when I do that. So I got the frame section in, everything's welded up, and you can even see I did kind of start welding in the frame stiffener, so I was able to weld everything in. Everything on the inside welded up super nice, all the way around, and then I even started tossing in the frame stiffener. I just started welding in all the plug holes, which this was welding so much nicer. Oh my god, so much freaking nicer. Like, proper, beads there and stuff. So it's so much nicer when I'm actually getting proper metal to weld. But unfortunately, I ran out of gas and wire at the same time. So perfect timing to kind of end this video. I'll probably pick it up from right there later on to finish welding in this frame stiffener and actually kind of show you guys how to weld in the next side on all the prep and all that stuff. So yeah, hopefully you guys kind of like the video and it gives you an idea if you're trying to save your Jeep, because I could not find any kind of videos on who's ever done this or pictures, and luckily there has been a few people that have kind of started doing it on like Facebook, and I can kind of at least gauge how much of a pain it was to do this. So yeah, if you guys like it, go ahead, share it, or let me know how horrible my welds are, or what have you. They might look ugly, but it's gonna fucking hold. These welds ain't going anywhere. So I did my best to weld it as much as humanly possible, and I think that's where all my weld wire went. Is I just kept welding it and welding it and welding it, probably when I didn't even need to. So yeah. Next is I'm probably just gonna finish this side, this frame stiffener, and the opposing side frame stiffener, and get the nuts welded in and get the floorboards in. And after that, I don't think I'm really gonna mess with the rear stiffeners in the fronts until this thing has a lift on it. Honestly, I kind of just want to go ahead, take it out, get it out of the garage, because I have another car coming back and I need the garage for that car. So I need to like get a move on some of these projects. So I don't mind leaving this one kind of like halfway finished, mainly because those frame stiffeners are mainly just kind of getting it back up to par where normal Jeeps are at, compared to my super rusty Jeep. But I think once we get the floorboards in and these stiffeners fully welded in, there's not going to be any kind of frame issue ever again with this Jeep. So I think she'll be solid for many years to come, probably for the rest of the lifespan of this vehicle. So yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day there. So I'll catch you guys later. Peace.